We are really looking for the vulnerable youth, the ones who often are not reached. There's a lot of youth, sometimes the ones that we see, they are running around, but they're those that are really vulnerable. Either they are disabled or they have stigma, they had a teenage pregnancy, because of their level of education, they have been left behind in the villages. They are not the ones who are really going out. But as the county commission has also said, in the first registration, which happened in March, this is one of the counties that the response was dismal, and so the people who registered could not progress to being trained because of this dismal registration. We want a lot of people, and so we want to do everything, all hands on deck, to make sure that we get our youth 18 to 29 years. That is for people who have less than either Form 4 level of education and below. And for 35 years, that is for people who are having some form of disability that is registered. And we want to make sure that we are very transparent in this process. We want to ensure that we also include as many women as we can in this, and have instructed the county commissioner and his team to make sure that everyone goes out there to make sure that we are not doing the usual. This program is very clear. It is meant to, we have around 1 million youth who are getting into the job market. 200,000 are getting employed through, the economic issues that we have, the formal economy, where most of them are getting jobs either in government or in enterprises. But we have another 800,000 that we want to create opportunities for. And we have 3 pathways to create those opportunities. One is to make the youth employable. And to make people employable, you have to give them the job experience, the skills of just waking up, of just going to a job, of taking instructions, of being in a place, of committing to do something, of having a deadline, of producing some results, some report, So that job experience is part of what we want to create in terms of to make the youth know what it means to do something. And that is very important for our country to know. And we are not saying that they don't know, but we just want to make it we want to make it the norm in the country, that you can wake up and do something, and then that something that you are doing is what leads Kenya to be prosperous. Number 2 is that there are around, and on that one alone, we are targeting around 90,000 youth that we want to create what we call a job experience. How we are going to create this job experience is by linking them with places where they can do either attachments or apprenticeship, or they can go and learn some skill, or they can have a way to observe or to participate in how things are done, and it's going to be across government. So 90,000 youth are being targeted, including our own offices. We have places where we are going to give opportunities for the youth just to learn what does it mean to have a job. Because many people want jobs, but do they know what it means to have a job? Sometimes I make a joke, and I believe this is why the president has decided this is his agenda. Many of us want jobs just so that we earn salaries, not so that we know what exactly jobs are. And I am from this background, so I can talk a lot about issues around employment and apprenticeship. Jobs give people dignity. The fact that you can wake up and do something alone before, what we call the dividend or what you're earning. Jobs alone give people dignity. But the mindset also, sometimes jobs are the best learning places. What I do today is what propels me to what I'll do tomorrow. It's about the skills of what I'm learning right now, And so there is a lot of opportunities out there, and we want the youth to gain these opportunities. So we are targeting around 90,000 youth in terms of this job experience. We then will move to the second pathway, which is basically recognition of prior learning. There are a number of youth that have skills, but because they don't have the papers, they were not registered. We are targeting 20,000 so that we enter them into this formal registration. We give them the grade test, the grade certificates that then can allow them to register companies, that can allow them to get some form of employment, can allow them to be traceable. For example, many of you struggle with plumbing issues. There are a number of youth who have studied plumbing from some other person, but they don't have a way of doing it. So when they come to, for example, fix something small, we want them to show a certificate. They don't have it. it. We want them to register for great tests. They don't have it. We want them to register companies that can do such kind of civil and water works. They don't have it. So we're targeting a number of youth in that area. But the majority of the youth we are targeting, around 600,000, is on the job, the business support. Basically, we want to create entrepreneurs. So we want to create people who can create employment. That is the short of it. We want to make youth be able to create jobs for youth. And so that's a key aspect of this program. So 70 youth per ward 70 youth per ward will be given 50,000 shillings, of course, based on the application of the ideas and based on what we call the value of those ideas, the scalability of those ideas, to make sure that these ideas are ideas that are streamlined with the economic growth of the country, but they are also ideas that can give other youth jobs. And so we are here to create this sensitization. We want the national government administrators to help us. We want the political leaders to help us. We want all community opinion leaders to help us. We are even going to go to the church, the mosques, so that all the youth are mopped out. We are even going to use our community health promoters to really get to the vulnerable people. We are very keen to ensure that as we do this, also youth learn some skills. One of the skills is a saving skill, so that then they know how to save. That is why you see NSSF here. We are also keen that as we do this, we also inculcate social protection. So social protection includes, for example, the teenage mothers that the government is supporting. We have 1 billion shillings there to make sure that we support them until the time that they are 19, that they can stand on their own. We know we are also doing a lot of other things around social protection, which includes the Social Health Authority. So it's an all-inculcated agenda. Of course, on the back end, there is also a lot of work that needs to be done, basically to create the systems that can give the youth market. You can go and do all these your businesses, do the, do the juakali, do your tree seedlings, but then you also need an access to that market. So on the other end, we are also training on basically creating the systems that are going to absorb all of that product of the youth. And so we are, already there is a law about AGPO in terms of the youth, the women, the persons with disability in terms of procurement. But we just want to revisit it, for example, in terms of how are we giving youth procurement. Part of the problems that we have is that, when this law was created, the same group of, let me use the word, enlightened people went and registered companies and christened them, these are youth. So the government is thinking that 30% of the procurement is going to the youth, but it is not going to the youth. So we have to reshape that place and then reshape that place by training the systems. Now we are getting into electronic government procurement. And so we are also telling the youth, if you are a person with disability, you have been registered, don't just give your certificate. Somebody has registered, they are doing business, they are the ones who come. For example, all cleaning businesses in this country, is AGPO. You know that. And all our offices are being cleaned. And there are companies that are earning a lot of money from cleaning. But are they really owned by the youth? Are they benefiting the youth? So there is also a lot that has to be done in this kind of sector, and we want to be as practical as possible. So I really want us to take this forward at an individual level, at a very personal level, and I'm really grateful to our ministers at the county level who have also, they have talked about, I'm going to go back to my village. If you don't have that in you, then even what you're doing in the office won't work. Ni ukweli ama si ukweli? Yeah, and then I think from where you sit, I think we may also need to help youth identify these opportunities, because we're going to do business support, but sometimes youth also struggle to identify this support. Like now our colleagues there who are doing seedlings, we may need to connect them with Kefri so that they know the seedlings that they are doing are relevant to the soil types around here. Because of either cultural bias or historical nature of how we do things, you will find that when people talk about youth, especially in rural counties, you will find that only either men show up. So I want you to actively also look for women and ladies who fall within this category. Okay? Some of them have been left out. This county, particularly this county, is one of the notorious counties for what we call teenage pregnancy. 21%, like all our pregnancies here are teenagers. It's something that I think now you must deal with it. You must deal with it. But even as you deal with it, now relating to NYOTA, because part of NYOTA is also giving opportunities for this kind of people. The fourth arm of NYOTA is giving people savings, I think the social protection bit about it. So there is the issue about teaching the youth how to save, okay? Teaching the youth how to save. But then there is also the social protection bit that relates to health. In this county, because of this, you're going to find a lot of people who were caught up in this mess of teenage pregnancy. They may not show up in your meetings as youth, and you have to look for them so that they are netted in. But we must also stop that thing from continuing to happen. These issues around discomatangas, teenagers who drop out of school, and we don't go after perpetrators, that thing, CC, that thing must stop. That thing must stop.